my voice is always there. It's not gone. It's something that God, gave me. Like
it's a gift.
It's a gift, right?
Yes.
It's for me. So it's not going anywhere. But then why am I not evolving? I feel like I am failed. I'm so failed as a singer,
Please subscribe and turn on your notifications to stay tuned to the latest updates at the Powder Room Talk.
For you to achieve your dream, you have to sacrifice a lot of things. Yes, it's true.
Yeah.
But then maybe when you achieve your success, you will not be happy. I just thought that, that success feeling that, okay, I live in a beautiful apartment in New York, or I have live alone in Singapore and working in this successful company, and leave my parents or my family back in Indonesia. Can I live with that? If something happened to them, can I live with that? And I thought at that time, no, I couldn't. I can never be able to live with that. So I decided at that time, okay, so I sacrificed what I wanted to do, and I stay back, and I'm happy.
Yeah.
And no regrets. So meaning successful is different terms from everybody else.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Every time I want to achieve something, like I always get it.
Yeah,
I always
achieve
get it.
it.
Like when my
Yeah.
mind says something, like
You
I
get
always
it.
get it. Yeah. Throughout my journey, as I mentioned before, I was always very ambitious about who I want to be. Since when I was a kid, I started singing when I was 5 years old, and I joined this, I joined that. I always win every competition that I went to. Like I'm always I'm always in first place. I always get what I want, and then I joined this competition on TV, and then even though I win second place, but still, I was so ambitious. Like, okay,
You're always seen.
I always
basically.
see, yeah. And since when I was a kid, I always know what I want to do, and I've always by the time I reached 21, I gotta have my own album, and then by the time I reach this age, I have to be a really successful singer. Like I put that
Milestones,
expectation,
right?
Yeah.
expectation about
Standards also.
standards of myself, right?
Yeah.
But then it's life, and then things happen. A lot of things happen in between. Like I get to experience, the real life, struggling, and then suddenly life is not as colorful, it's not as
Beautiful,
Maybe it doesn't go as planned.
as
also,
planned,
right?
and not as easy as
Sounds like growing up.
it's not as easy as you think. Exactly, right? Because I started so early. So then I see things and I expect things to go like that way, right? But then I forgot that there are, I grow up, then things happen, and then
disappointments.
Heartbreak.
again, I felt like I was failing, like at some points,
Yeah.
because I had a lot of peer pressure, even up until now. People are always saying like, hey, your voice are so wonderful, like you have such an amazing talent. Why don't you make your own album? Why don't you make this? Why don't you make that? And then people can come up to me and say, I think your management is really bad because they cannot make you someone, or the people too many pressure, too many people dictating you like what to do, and you should be like this, you should be like that, you shouldn't be who you are right now. You could be someone more than the person that you are right now. You have people come up to you and they some people acting like they're trying to motivate you and all that stuff.
I was going to ask, because it's like there are people that really love you and be like, I think you're here now, but I see in the future your potential.
Who you can be.
And it's encouragement.
Yeah.
But there are people that are trying to box you in for their own vain conceit or their own selfish reasons, because I need Angel to be this. I need, like, imagine if we have someone like that in our lives, right?
Yeah. But I'm really grateful for people that is being tough on me. Like, pushing me to do better, because I'm not saying like I'm all good and I don't need like people's opinion or people pushing me to be something. But again, but then when I think about my life, I used to have like regrets. Okay, why don't I take this song, and then suddenly like a lot of things happen that make me
wondering,
regret a lot of things. And then but then I think about it again, like I am exactly where I have to be right now.
Yeah, that's true.
Right?
That's so true.
That keeps me sane.
Yeah.
And then what I figure out for years of experiencing all this is that I feel like God is more interested in my character than my talent.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
No, yeah.
I feel my voice is always there, my voice is always there. And, throughout my singing journey, it was so amazing. I never planned to be, what's Indonesian called it, like penyanyi rohani, let's say something like that, to sing like gospel song. I never planned to sing those gospel songs. I did it first hand to help a good friend of mine, and then suddenly it could be, blessings for a lot of people. And then, I can sing at this one event and they just cried and your voice is so amazing. So what I realized is, my voice is always there. It's not gone. It's something that God, gave me, like
it's a gift.
It's a gift, right?
Yes.
It's for me. So it's not going anywhere. But then why am I not evolving? I feel like I'm so failed as a singer, like, because I'm 23 now and I still haven't had my own, pop album yet. I have people younger than me that, are a lot more successful than me. But then when I think about it again, like what I just said, but my character's growth is crazy. Like from 4 years ago to now, I am a totally different person.
Oh, I can witness that. Yeah, you've grown so.
I am a totally different person, and I can tell that God is shaping me in a lot of areas in my life, a lot of areas in my life, and I will never ever regret that. Maybe my talent, my career can pause for a bit, but I can never get this, like in the future. Like I don't want to get this and get to experience all this when I have husband, when I have kids, You
mean the working on your character?
The working on my character, the process that I'm going through right now.
The process.
Like I'm so grateful that
so
God gave that early, that I get to experience this early. So that's why I always say to my friends who let's say their parents are divorced, and my friends who are, maybe their parents are bankrupt and they're not as fortunate as like maybe their friends. I always said like, don't be discouraged,
Yeah.
Like it's good that you're going through this process, going through all these difficulties now.
Yeah. Because it's like being put through the fire and how you actually walk out of it.
Yeah.
And because sometimes like those, and that was really good, because some people think like, oh, something hits my life or the job gets taken away.
Yeah.
My family is undergoing, brokenness and divorce.
Yes.
I'm broken too. But those are circumstances. People forget that your identity, it can be affected by circumstances, but that is,
it's not true.
This is not true. It's not you.
That is not true.
Yeah, it will only become you if you allow yourself to internalize that.
To internalize that.
Yeah, that situation.
And it is being manifested in your life, right?
Yeah.
You believe in that.
You believe in that.
And it's like I love like how you brought up that conversation, because I remember very early on in the pandemic, there were a lot of people. I would have friends and they're like, "Why are you so chill?" And I came to that realization where economy working well is very important for everybody.
Yes.
We need to put food on the table. It's a very practical thing.
Yeah.
But I started realizing that even a big part of actually identity is many of us look at wealth or whatever, access. I call it access baggage or access clothes that we put on, but those clothes are not necessarily part of our identity. It's just because someone says so. Oh, you came from a wealthy family and now you're not wealthy anymore, and so you are less. How are you less? And there were so many people so panicking, like what if I was like, what, you're concerned that what if your postcode changed tomorrow? I started telling friends, I said like, I feel very blessed. I get to live the life I live. But if any moment it gets taken away, I gotta switch to switch my postcode. I'm still myself.
True.
And I think it would be a good filter. You know, who are the people that would stay with you when things come crashing or things get tough?
Yes.
You know, that's how you can. That to me is how I gauge success. It's like when I fall, do people pick me up? When I fall, like, you know, how do people react to me when there are certain layers to what they perceive me to be? Like, oh, okay, would people stop being my friend if, like, now they're like, oh, she's no longer working for the family business. Maybe she, you know, she's of no use to me now.
I was about to say maybe she's no use.
There are a lot of us, you know, facing things like that, and they get concerned. And I remember telling a lot of my friends, I said, by the virtue of how you lived your life, that is the real, to me, like, you know, you wear so many hats, like this combo we're talking about today. And so if you ever fall flat, and you've gone from really, really
high blazing,
to like you're like, oh my God, I lost my house. I don't even know where I'm gonna sleep tonight. So I guarantee you, all of us are gonna open our doors.
For me, I struggled a long time, right? As I told you before, with the concept of like now being a mother and a wife, and like not being able to hold business,
to do your business and
perfect at business at the same time, right? And it took me really long to find, like, you know, like when people ask me, so what do you do? And to actually be comfortable in saying, yeah, I have 2 children, and you know, I'm married to so and so, but I didn't want to be defined just, I mean, you know, like in a way, like sometimes people would introduce me, oh, this is the wife of so and so, right? And then they were like suddenly so nice to me, and I hated that, and I still hate it. I don't want to be introduced as the wife of. Just I am a wife. I totally am happy with that role, being a wife. I chose that, and I love being a wife, but I don't want to be defined by she is the wife of, right? Because it's just not. I have a name.
I remember that bothered me when I was like, wow, Viola, like, and I even told your, you know, husband, and I was like, this is, you know, a time will come, and maybe the time is now where I'm really sorry. I don't want my friend to be referred to the wife of you, because you're both really, you know, lovely people, and you're both like,
she's that amazing.
Thank you.
People don't have enough information about that.
I mean, I understand.
You should know her personally.
I mean, I understand that people need to make connections and understand the world around them. So they introduce me as that. I understand that, but I also then I thought, what is the replacement of that? What would make me feel more comfortable? And I felt like I could come up with all these titles for myself with what I'm doing, you know, like how you describe a beautiful picture, and like you make it sound really artsy, and you give it the title of blah blah blah, right? You describe it in beautiful words, and I could find myself titles with the things that I'm doing in life that would sound really great, and people would be like, oh wow. But do I want that? Like, do I really want people to feel impressed when they hear what I'm doing? Or do I really just want to be comfortable with myself? So until today, I'm still a bit confused when people ask me, so what do you do? What do I answer? Like, I'm like, oh, you know, like sometimes I try to distract, sometimes I give like the simplest answer. So I want to see their reaction of just based on if I'm just a nobody. How do they treat me, right? Like, how do they behave around me? Or do they only, you know, do they only smile at me and respect me when I give a title? And I feel like we should all treat each other that way. Like, it doesn't matter what you do or where you come from or how much money you made or how much money your family makes, you know, which area you live in. If we could just treat each other with respect and love, then we wouldn't have that need to always prove that we're worthy of being respected.